Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with amazing physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, wages a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Today, the secret of Superman's double identity moves closer to exposure as Biggie Conroy, the racket boss, delivers an ultimatum to a famous surgeon.
Get this, Dr. Bushmill. That wounded guy in the next room knows something I want to know. See? You gotta save his life so he can tell me.
Now, you listen to me, Mr.
Conroy's your name, Doctor. Biggie Conroy, and you're listening to me. I warn you. Don't let Willie Snyder die, because if you do, you'll die too.
Gang, is there a little death trap in your home? I'm not kidding. I mean that seriously. And before I'm through with what I have to tell you, the meaning of that startling question will be perfectly clear. The reason I ask that question, for which incidentally the answer is always yes, is that there are more accident hazards found in the average home than anywhere else. Statistics show that on an average, 88 men, women, and children are killed, and 360 are permanently maimed or disfigured, while 12,640 are variously injured or temporarily disabled, all as a result of accidents that happen in the home. That should demonstrate to you that home disasters, which account for half the fearful toll of all accidents, are the most dreaded enemy to our well-being. And another appalling fact is that although some accidents are admittedly unavoidable, most of them can and should be prevented. Yes, in a majority of instances, the simple application of common sense could have prevented accidents that resulted in near death. Doesn't it make you wonder how it can be possible for terrible things to happen where you most expect to be safe in your home? But when you think about it, you'll begin to realize that yesterday or last week or even today, you or someone in your house narrowly missed being hurt by something that happened in your house. Why, a simple thing like a loose rug can take more lives and maim more limbs than a military booby trap. Stay with us, and in just a little while, I'll tell you more about this.
And now, the adventures of Superman.
When Superman discovered that an ex-convict named Willie Snyder had made off with a spare costume from the apartment he occupies as Clark Kent, he hurriedly summoned his friend, the famous Batman, and told him...
This can mean only one thing, Batman. That now somebody else besides you and I knows the secret of my double identity. And unless we can prevent him from revealing my secret to the underworld, my service to humanity, my very life, may be ended.
Upon investigation, Superman and Batman learned that Willie Snyder had been seriously wounded in a gun battle with a police officer, but had escaped. Then they traced him to an abandoned building, but there lost his trail. Meanwhile, as they, the police, and Robin, Batman's young companion, searched desperately for Snyder, the ex-convict made his way to the home of Biggie Conroy, a big-time racket boss. Then, when Conroy's doctor told the racketeer that only one man, a famous surgeon named Dr. Bushmill, might be able to save Snyder's life, Conroy gave orders for Dr. Bushmill to be abducted. And now, the outraged surgeon stands before the lumbering, hulking racketeer.
Look, Dr. Bushmill, there's a guy here with a bullet near his heart. I understand you're the only man who could get it out and save the guy's life, so get busy.
You must be out of your mind, Conroy. You think you can bring me here at gunpoint and then expect me to operate on a man wanted by the police? A man who, I'm told, shot a police officer.
Be smart, Doctor. Do like I say, and nothing will happen to you.
You must be mad if you think you can get away with anything like this. I advise you to call the police at once and have them pick this man up. They'll take him to the city hospital where he'll get proper medical attention.
But, Doctor, if the police knew Snyder was here, I'd get in trouble, see?
I don't care anything about
But I care. I care a lot, see? Besides, and this is most important, Snyder knows something I want very much for him to tell me. And he can't tell me.
I
unless
refuse to be a party to this. Now, I'm going to call the police right now.
Put down that phone.
Nothing doing.
Chopin, show Dr. Bushmill your gun.
Yeah, sure. Look, Doc. Pretty, ain't it?
Why, you wouldn't dare shoot me.
Don't be a sucker, Doc.
Better hang up that phone.
No.
Now you're showing some sense, Doc.
Okay, don't waste any more time. Go on in and operate on Snyder.
No, I won't do it. It's against the law for me to operate on this man.
Don't worry, Doc. We won't turn you in.
Besides, it's impossible for me to operate here. I haven't the proper equipment or an anesthetist.
The boys brought your medical bag along, and Doc Crandall, the guy who's in there with Snyder now, he'll give you a hand. Now stop wasting time.
Yeah, my trigger finger's getting very itchy.
But Oh, very well.
Good. Now remember, don't let Snyder die. Because if you do, you'll die too. Now get going.
Hello, Lois.
Oh, hello, Chief. I'm so glad you came over.
What's the idea of calling me away from City Hall?
Well, you see, Chief...
Yeah, you and Kent and the rest of the staff run the Daily Planet without bothering me every 5 minutes?
It isn't about the paper that I called you.
In case you've forgotten, I'm the mayor now. That's a big job. Keeps me plenty busy.
I know you're busy, Chief, and I'm busy, too, but I'm worried. I don't know what to do, and you've got to help me.
Well, why, of course, Lois. I'll help you. Now, what's gone wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with me. It's Clark.
Kent?
Yes, he's been acting very strangely, Chief.
Well, that's nothing new for Kent. Always disappearing, heaven knows where, never explaining,
No, it
never
isn't that. He's been acting so nervous.
Nervous?
Yes, he jumps at the slightest sound. He says things that don't make any sense, and, well, you know, I think that he is scared to death.
Scared? Of what?
I don't know, and he won't tell me. Of course, I know Clark isn't what you'd call exactly brave, but he didn't used to jump like this when he saw his own shadow.
Well, maybe he's working too hard, or maybe he's a little under the weather.
I asked him if he was sick.
Well?
He said he never felt worse in his life, but when I wanted to call a doctor, he wouldn't let me. He said a doctor couldn't help his trouble.
Well, what does that mean?
I don't know. That's why I'm worried, Chief. So Jim Olsen and I talked it over, and we decided I ought to call you.
I'm glad you did. I'll see Kent, and I'll tell...
Lois, did Bat...
Oh, hello, Clark.
Oh, hello,
See how
Chief.
strange he looks, Chief? Look at him.
How are you, Kent?
Okay, I guess. Listen, Lois, have you heard from Batman?
Batman? Why, no.
Oh, hang it.
Well, what's the matter now?
Why should Batman call you?
Oh, no reason, I guess. Or he would have called.
Huh?
What kind of double talk is that?
What about Inspector Henderson? Did he call?
Why, no.
Oh, he promised to let me know at once if he picked up Willie Snyder.
Willie Snyder.
You mean that ex-convict who shot the police officer?
Yes, but unless I find him and fast, my name will be mud.
What's this?
What do you mean, Clark?
Snyder knows who I am.
What?
What?
I said Snyder knows... what am I saying?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
As if everybody didn't know who I am.
You see, Chief?
Yes. Now, look, Kent, you've been working pretty hard now. How would you like to take a little vacation?
Vacation? Unless I get a break, I may be taking a permanent vacation.
Now, what kind of talk is that,
Now,
Clark?
look, Kent, how would you like to go down to Florida for a few weeks? All expenses paid, of course.
How can
And you
I,
could-
Chief?
Or how about the North Woods, Clark? You've always liked the outdoors.
Don't be ridiculous. I have... I'll get it.
No, wait a minute. That's my phone,
Maybe
Clark.
for me. Clark Kent speaking. Oh, yes, Farber. What do you know?
Who's Farber?
Harry Farber, our new police reporter.
Oh.
Is that so? Well, hold on. I'll have the operator connect you with the city... Say, wait a minute. Did you say Dr. Asa Bushmill, the famous surgeon?
Dr. Bushmill?
What about him?
It is, eh? Well, look, Harry, wait there for me. I'll be down at once.
What is it, Clark?
What about Dr. Bushmill?
Someone saw him being forced into a car at gunpoint by two thugs.
What?
Good heavens.
This might be a hot lead.
What do you
what?
mean?
You know, Willie Snyder was badly wounded before he disappeared.
That's right.
It could just be that he holed up someplace in the underworld and that it was his pals who grabbed Dr. Bushmill in an effort to save his life.
But, Kent, listen.
No
now you
time
can't...
now. I'm going out to track this down.
Rushing out of Lois Lane's office, Clark Kent is soon on his way to the Metropolis Hospital as Superman. Kent has made a correct deduction, but will he be able to trace Dr. Bushmill to Willie Snyder? We'll be back in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode, so keep listening.
Gang, I'm not here to frighten you. My only purpose in telling you about accidents in the home is to put you on the alert against them, and, if possible, to help you prevent having them happen to you. A little while ago, I told you that loose throw rugs on the floor are a menace, and I mean that. But accidents due to loose rugs can be prevented simply by coating the underside of them with a slip-proof material, or better yet, by tacking them down. Bathrooms are accident hazards, too, if you're not wary. Be very careful when you climb in or out of your tub. Play safe by putting a rubber mat in the bottom of the tub. Don't lean against windows or window screens. Some terrible falls have resulted from such carelessness. The same thing goes for stair rails and porch railings, because often an invisible dry rot has weakened the supports. Next to falls, the worst killer in the home is fire. Avoid the use of matches, and don't play with the electrical wiring in your house. Another important thing to remember is never, and I mean never, touch any medicines unless they are administered by an adult, because many violent sicknesses and even deaths result from taking internally something that seems to be the right thing, but turns out to be poisonous. Here's something else. Keep away from, don't touch firearms that may be found in your home. More than 100 people die every year as a result of I didn't know it was loaded kind of accidents. So don't forget, be smart, play safe, so that you may remain alive and healthy.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman.
His fine, distinguished face looking haggard, Dr. Asa Bushmill has just emerged from a room in the house of Biggie Conroy, the racketeer chieftain. Wearily, the famous surgeon enters the living room, where Conroy is seated in an easy chair as he listens to the music played on a piano by his henchman Chopin. As the doctor comes into the room, Conroy stands for a moment. He stares at the physician. Then, with a sharp wave of his hand, he barks an order.
Hold it, Chopin. Well, how's it go, Dr. Bushmill?
Yeah, how's Willie?
Will he live?
I don't think so.
Huh? What? Now, look here, Doc. I warned
Save
you
your
that you...
breath, Mr. Conroy. Even though you forced me to come here, I am, first of all, a physician with a duty to my fellow man.
So what does that mean?
Means that I did my very best to save him.
Why do you say he won't live?
Because the operation was delayed too long. The bullet had penetrated the heart
I
wall.
don't care about that. I say the guy has got to live.
I've done everything I could.
Well, you got to do more. He must live long enough to tell me something I must know.
I'm sorry. Told you I've done my best.
Look, Doctor, maybe you can do something that'll bring him around for a minute or two, just long enough so he can talk. I'll pay you big dough if you can. Big dough.
Your money doesn't interest me any more than your threats, Mr. Conroy. But I think the patient will probably regain consciousness before the end.
Yeah?
Due to the stimulant I gave him. However, I forbid you to question him.
Are you kidding?
Definitely not. I forbid
Oh,
you.
yeah? I'd just like to see you stop me. Keep your eye on this guy, Chopin. I'm going to go sit by Willie until he comes to.
Brushing Dr. Bushmill aside with one contemptuous sweep of his huge arm, Biggie Conroy walks into the room where Willie Snyder, ex-convict, lies unconscious. Will Snyder reveal the secret of Superman's double identity to the racketeer before he dies? And what of Superman, who is now at Metropolis Hospital, where he hopes to pick up the abducted Dr. Bushmill's trail? What success will he have? Tomorrow's episode is packed with thrills, action, and surprises, fellows and girls, so be sure to listen. Tune in, same time, same station, for Chapter 6 of The Mystery of the Stolen Costume on The Adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Comics magazine and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time. This program came from New York. Stay tuned to your mutual station for Captain Midnight, which follows in just a moment. And right after Captain Midnight, you will hear Tom Mix and his Ralston Straight Shooters. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with amazing physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, wages a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Today, the racketeer boss, Biggie Conroy, smiles with anticipation as Willie Snyder, the ex-convict who discovered Superman's great secret, begins to regain consciousness.
Doc, look. He's opening his eyes.
Yeah, he's coming to.
Can I ask him now who Superman is?
Well, not just yet, but in another minute he should be able to tell you.
I sure hope you're right, Doc. I sure hope you're right.
Gang, I'm sure all of us at one time or another have played the sucker by making snap judgments, such as, for instance, in sizing up new acquaintances. We take a quick look, maybe say hello and goodbye, and then think we know all about the fellow we just met. Well, it just doesn't work that way. Sad experience will teach you, if you haven't already found out, that you can't rely on snap judgments to tell you much about anybody. Now, suppose I decided I couldn't stand the guy who moved in next door. Why? Well, because his tie was horrible, let's say. So I didn't say more than hello and pleased to meet you, and went away convinced that that was all I'd ever want to say to the guy. Well, then, strange as it may seem, in a couple of weeks we became real pals. The new neighbor turned out to be a swell guy, and I found out that the tie I so thoroughly disliked was a Christmas present from his Aunt Dora, and had to wear it at the time I saw him. Now, see how foolish I look to myself? Well, that shows that prejudging a man before you ever really get to know him is senseless. And another word for prejudging is prejudice. Both words mean that you've made up your mind in advance whether you will or will not like a person. So they're both senseless. But some people have more dangerous prejudices. They decide in advance that they won't like a fellow because of the color of his skin or his religion or the country his grandfather came from. They never really get to know the guy. Does that make sense? Certainly not. Because in the end, prejudice makes you lose out. Or if you don't give the boy and girl a chance to prove what kind of people they really are, you wind up missing some very fine friendships with some very swell people. It's as simple as that.
And now, the adventures of Superman.
While Superman, together with his friends Batman and Robin, helped the Metropolis police search for Willie Snyder, a wounded ex-convict who had stumbled on the secret that Superman and newspaper reporter Clark Kent were one and the same person, Snyder made his way to the house of racketeer boss Biggie Conroy, where he collapsed. Aware that Snyder held valuable information, Conroy ordered his henchmen to abduct Dr. Asa Bushmill, and then forced the famous surgeon to operate on the ex-convict in an attempt to save his life. The surgeon held out little hope for Snyder's recovery, but said he would regain consciousness briefly before the end. Meanwhile, learning that Dr. Bushmill had been abducted from the Metropolis Hospital, Superman streaked there, and secretly resuming his disguise of reporter Clark Kent, was admitted to the hospital superintendent's office, where he joins Police Inspector Henderson in questioning an orderly named Green.
Green, you say you saw two men push Dr. Bushmill into a car?
That's right, Inspector. I was just coming to work when I saw these two fellows grab Dr. Bushmill and push him into a car. It was right across the street from the hospital.
Are you sure it was Dr. Bushmill?
I'm positive, Mr. Kent. I was only about 50 feet away, and I saw him under a street lamp for a minute before these men grabbed him.
Well, didn't you call out or something?
Well, sure I did, but first I was too stunned to do anything. Then I yelled and ran after the car, but it got away.
Well, tell me, did you get a look at the two men?
Well, not much of a look. It was kind of dark near the car, but one of them was pretty big, I think.
That's a great help.
Look, Mr. Green, you said you ran after the car. Did you notice what kind of a car it was?
It was a sedan, I think. Blue or black, I'm not sure.
You're not sure. That's just in.
But I got the license number.
You did? Well, why didn't you say so?
Well, I was going to.
All right. Just give me the number.
Just a minute. I wrote it down on this piece of paper.
Pete's sake, man, let's have it.
Here it is. L16880. Here, give me that paper.
Yes, that was good work, Mr. Green.
Thanks.
You bet it was. Thanks a lot, Green.
You're welcome. I hope that helps you find Dr. Bushmill.
So do I.
Come on, Kent. We'll hop down to headquarters and trace this license number. You'll have the name of the owner of that car right away, Kent.
I wish he'd hurry. Time's important.
You know, I can't figure this one out. Dr. Bushmill is a big shot, but he's far from wealthy. So why should anybody snatch him?
I got a hunch about that, Inspector.
You and your hunches. All right, go ahead. Spill it.
I think Dr. Bushmill may have been taken away to treat Willie Snyder.
You mean that ex-con who shot an officer last night?
Right. Officer Robinson is sure he put at least 2 bullets into Snyder.
So what?
Well, my guess is the wounded crook made his way to the hideout of some gang who grabbed Dr. Bushmill, one of the best surgeons in the country, to try to save him.
Are you kidding?
Certainly not.
Oh, boy, what a wild, cockeyed hunch that is.
Why?
Because why should anybody, even a gangster, take a chance like that for a small-time rat like Snyder? Abduction carries the death penalty in this state, you know.
Yes, but if Snyder offered to make a deal, well, a criminal might figure it was worth the risk if he could find out what Snyder knows.
What do you mean? What does Snyder know?
He came into possession of a very valuable secret yesterday. One that would be worth a great deal of money in the underworld and elsewhere, too.
What in the world are you talking about? What secret?
That I can't tell you.
What do you mean you can't tell me?
I'm sorry, Inspector. I can't. Besides, it won't help you a bit. Honest, it won't.
Now, don't get... Say, wait a minute.
What?
I just remembered that you told Sergeant Healy Snyder stole something from you, and that his fingerprints were found in your apartment. Isn't that right?
Why, yes.
Well, what did he steal?
That, Inspector, is what I can't tell you.
Now, you listen to me, Kent. If you think that you... Just a minute. Don't go away.
I have no intention of going away yet. That may be Sergeant Healy.
Inspector Henderson speaking. Yes, Healy. Did you check that number? Uh-huh. What's that?
Uh-oh.
Well, I'll be... Are you sure, Healy? You are, huh? Okay, get after it. Right. So long.
Well, Inspector?
This'll kill you, Kent. That license number is for Bushmill's own car.
What?
Yeah, they snatched him in his own car. So now we don't know any more about them than we did before.
Hey, Biggie, look. Snyder's coming, too.
Yeah, Chopin, he is. Maybe you can talk now. Listen, Snyder, you said you knew who Superman is. Now tell me. You hear me, Snyder? Tell me who Superman is.
I don't think he hears you, Biggie.
Wait. His lips are moving.
Dark now. Dark. Cops can't see me. Gotta get going.
Hey, get him.
Quiet, Chopin.
Dark, bad. Gotta keep going now. Gotta get to Biggie Conroy. Big shot.
Hey, he thinks he's still trying to get here, Biggie.
Yeah. Listen, Snyder. I'm Biggie Conroy. You hear me? I'm Biggie. I'll take care of you, Snyder. Just tell me who Superman is.
Me, Willie Snyder. I know who Superman is.
Well, come on, tell us, will you?
Yeah, come on. Talk, Willie. Talk.
You know, Biggie, I think he's hysterical.
Shut up. I knew right away. As soon as I saw a costume. Can't fool me. Same costume that time Superman grabbed me and the boy.
Sure. Now listen, Snyder.
Gotta get out of here. Take costume. Take the Biggie Conroy. Get Big Doe.
He's nuts. We better get that croaker back in here.
That's no use. Dr. Bushmill said he can't do no more.
No, you don't, cop. You ain't gonna touch this costume.
Well, what are we gonna do with this guy? He won't talk. The longer he stays here, the more...
Shut up, Chopin. Listen to me, Snyder.
Big Doe. Biggie Conroy. Superman. Big Doe. Superman.
Snyder.
What? Holy smokes, Biggie. I think he's dead.
Quick, Chopin. Get Dr. Bushmill in here. Go on.
Yeah, okay.
Hurry.
That you, Biggie?
Hey, wait, Chopin. Yes, Snyder. This is Biggie.
Good. I want to make a deal with you. I know who Superman is.
Well, you tell me who he is, and I'll cut you in for half the profits. You got millions.
Millions?
Yeah. Just tell me who he is.
Millions?
Yeah. Go on, Snyder. Tell me. Who is Superman?
Okay, Biggie. Get a load of this.
Leaning forward tensely, Biggie Conroy and his henchman Chopin wait for the dying ex-convict to speak. We'll be back in a moment for the dramatic climax of today's episode, so keep listening.
Now, gang, here's Superman with a very special message he wants to bring you personally. Come in, Superman.
History was made last week, boys and girls. History was made on a tennis court by the most important organization in tennis today. The United States Lawn Tennis Association, which makes all the rules concerning amateur tennis matches, announced that for the first time a Negro player had been chosen to compete in the tournament for the National Tennis Championship. The player's name is Dr. Reginald Weir. Now, gang, this is just one more proof that sportsmen all over the country are putting into practice our belief that what counts is a man's ability, not the color of his skin or his religion or the place where his folks were born. Jackie Robinson, the first Negro in Major League Baseball, has already proven his great skill. And last week, Joe Yancey, Negro track coach, was voted the annual award of the New York Track Riders for long and meritorious service in behalf of that sport. You see, gang, true sportsmen never draw a color line. The big league players in every field are learning that. So make sure that you and your teams and clubhouses follow their example of fair play. If you're scouting a good baseball player for your team, don't look at his skin color, look at his throwing arm. If you need a new pitcher, never mind his race, just watch him sizzle a curve across the plate. Yes, ability and teamwork are the only things that count in sports, whether it's baseball or tennis or bowling or tin can hockey. And if any mug tries to tell you differently, yell foul. Because in sports, gang, the racial prejudice line is the foul line.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Tell me, Snyder. Tell me, who is Superman?
He lives at Maple Crest Apartments.
Huh? He lives in the Maple Crest Apartments?
Yeah. Park Place, 38.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Which apartment? Apartment number.
Yeah. Go on, Snyder.
What number? Snyder, tell us. Uh-oh. Peggy, I think.
Yeah. He's dead, Chopin.
Holy cow, gone before he could tell us.
Maybe he told us enough.
What do you mean?
He told us Superman lives in the Maple Crest Apartments.
Well, yeah, but it's a big building. Lots of people live
right.
there.
But we know he lives in an apartment with a movable panel in one of the walls and a secret closet behind it. Now all we gotta do is find out which apartment that is, Chopin. And when we get that, we'll know who Superman is.
His little eyes gleaming in his beefy face, Biggie Conroy believes that the secret of Superman's double identity and the fortune that knowledge will bring him is practically in his hands. But Superman is unaware of this new development and unaware that his greatest fear, the fear that his true identity will become known to powerful figures in the underworld, is so close to realization. What is going to happen now? We'll find out in tomorrow's exciting episode, fellows and girls, so don't fail to listen. Tune in, same time, same station, for Chapter 7 of The Mystery of the Stolen Costume on The Adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Comics magazine and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time. This program came from New York. Stay tuned to your mutual station for Captain Midnight, which follows in just a moment. And right after Captain Midnight, you will hear Tom Mix and his Ralston Straight Shooter.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
It's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with amazing physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, wages a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Today, racket boss Biggie Conroy reveals to Chopin, a henchman, that now he is confident of discovering Superman's great secret.
You see, Chopin? We know Superman lives in the Maple Crest Apartments disguised as some other guy.
Yeah, but what other guy?
That's what you're going to find out.
How do you expect me to do that?
Easy. We know his apartment has a secret closet behind the movable wall panel, so I want you to go over to the Maple Crest and find the apartment with the secret closet, see?
Yeah.
Then we know who Superman is. Now, go on, get going.
Gang, have you ever visited a newspaper publishing plant and seen the gigantic printing presses that roll off page after page of newsprint? Well, if you have, then you know how type is first set and then cast into a plate that is locked onto the printing rollers and then, once set, runs off copy after copy of pages, each exactly like the other. Well, the plate that is cast from the set type is called a stereotype. As strange as it may seem, the minds of a lot of people work just like that, too. They fix a mental picture of a kind of person and then apply that picture or mental stereotype to all people of the same racial, religious, or national background. Now, you know that no two people can possibly be exactly the same. You know that there are dark types and light types in all races, that some are tall and some are short, some are good and some are bad. So, you see, you can't stereotype people. Think how many stories you've read that included characters like Irish cops or Italian fruit peddlers or Negro porters. Well, if you judged by that alone, you'd be led to believe that all Irishmen are cops, all Italians fruit peddlers, and all Negroes porters. Well, maybe some are. But I'm sure you know some Irish insurance men, for instance, or Italian accountants, and Negro doctors. Use your intelligence to help you realize that people can't be stereotyped like printing plates. Judge each individual for his own personal qualities. Like him or dislike him for himself. Remember that although all people are created equal, each person develops his own personality, and no racial, religious, or national group is cut out of one pattern.
And now, the adventures of Superman.
During Clark Kent's absence, a burglar named Willie Snyder entered his apartment, and behind a movable wall panel, he discovered a secret closet in which he found a Superman costume. Realizing he had stumbled on the answer to Superman's great secret, his double identity, Snyder hurried from the apartment with the costume. But in the alley, he was intercepted by a police officer, and after a gun battle in which he was seriously wounded, he managed to escape to the house of Biggie Conroy, a big-time racket boss. Snyder told Conroy that Superman lived in the Maple Crest Apartments, and he revealed where he had found the Man of Steel's costume. But before he could say exactly which apartment it was, he died. As we continue now, Conroy questions Chopin, his piano-playing companion, who has just returned from a special mission.
Well, let's have it, Chopin. What's the dope?
Well, we dumped Snyder's body, like you said, Biggie. Then I went over to Maple Crest Apartments to case it.
Well?
It's a big joint, Biggie. 8 stories. 10 apartments on each floor. A penthouse on the roof. 3 apartments on the ground floor.
So what?
Well, that means there's 84 apartments there. So how are we going to get in all of them? And stay in them long enough to find a secret closet? Tell me that.
Yeah, there must be a way.
Bust in, maybe?
No, I can't pull a stunt like that.
Then tell me how we're going to do it.
Well, if you shut up, I'll try to figure it out.
Okay.
Must be a way to examine those apartments.
It's going to be tough, Biggie.
Look, Chopin, play me something on the piano. It helps me to think.
Yeah, sure, okay. What do you have? Swing? Boogie-woogie? Or maybe some dreamy stuff, huh? Like this.
No, not that. It makes me sleepy.
Okay, Biggie. Let's see. How about this?
Yeah, that's your stuff, Chopin. That's nice. That'll help me think of something.
Sure you will. You got brains, Biggie.
Well, stop gabbing and let me use them.
Okay.
Let's see now. No, that's no good.
What's no good, Biggie?
Never mind. Maybe if... No, that's no good either. Hey, wait!
wait.
Huh?
Stop playing.
Hey, you think of something, Biggie?
Yeah, I think so. Get Slick on the phone.
Slick Bailey?
Yeah, hurry up.
Yeah, okay, what's the gimmick?
I'll tell you later. Just tell Slick to get over here right away. I got a job for him.
Just a minute. Hiya, Clark.
Oh, Batman, come in.
Thanks.
Well, any news?
Here it is. Robin and I have been on a grand tour of the underworld.
Yes, I know, but what
we
did you
covered
find?
the town, broke bread with all the nicest people. Sneak thieves, safe crackers, stick-up men, confidence artists, stool pigeons.
Skip all that, Batman. Just tell me, what did you find out?
Exactly nothing, Clark.
Nothing.
Nobody knows from nothing about Willie Snyder, last seen with a couple of bullets in him fleeing from a police officer.
I see.
Or if they do know, even Batman and Robin can't make them talk.
I haven't been able to pick up a trace of him either. Neither have the police. Oh, this is terrible, Batman. What am I going to do?
Oh, now, take it easy, chum.
Take it easy? How can I when that ex-convict Willie Snyder knows that I'm Superman when he has my costume?
Well, I know
he may be revealing it to some big-time criminals at this very moment. Or he may have already told them. They could be plotting against me right now.
Now, wait. Has it occurred to you that maybe Willie Snyder is dead?
Yes, but, well, I don't think so.
Why not? He was badly wounded, you know. But he didn't go to any hospital or to any listed physician. So
but
what?
have you forgotten Dr. Asa Bushmill, the famous surgeon who was forcibly taken away from the Metropolis Hospital last night? I still think he was taken away to treat Willie Snyder.
Well, could be. But that's only a hunch, Clark.
I think it's a good hunch.
Now, there's your phone. You want me to answer it?
No, never mind. I'll take it. Hello?
That you, Kent?
Yes, who's this?
Sergeant Haley, Inspector Henderson's office.
Oh, yes, Sergeant.
Can you come down to the city morgue right away?
Well, why? What for?
The guy was just brought in. You think maybe you can identify him?
I? But
Do me
who?
a favor and come on down, will you, Kent? I'll be waiting for you.
Yes, of course, Sergeant. I'll be right down.
What's cooking, Clark?
Funny, Sergeant Healy wants me to identify somebody at the city morgue.
Wants you to?
Yes. I don't understand it. Well, let's go, Batman.
You recognize this guy, Kent?
What? Why, yes. That's Willie Snyder.
We thought so, but
You sure, Clark?
Positive. Superman rounded up this fellow with part of a gang a couple of years ago. I covered the story for the Daily Planet.
Oh, I see.
Where did you find him, Sergeant?
under some bushes in Metropolis Park.
In the park.
Wait,
huh?
Batman. Wait a minute. What possessions did Snyder have with him when you found him, Sergeant?
Come over here and I'll show you. Everything he had on him is in this table. Practically nothing.
Clark, I don't see your...
Hold it.
Batman.
Sorry. You don't see what, Batman?
Well, all I see is a couple of dollars and some keys and a piece of wire.
That's all there was. The keys are master keys.
Uh-huh. One of them probably fits my door.
Sure. Now, what was it he stole from you?
Forget it, Sergeant. It isn't here.
I didn't figure it was. But what was it? The inspector wants to know.
It can't possibly help you or Inspector Henderson, Sergeant. Take my word for it. Come on, Batman. Let's go. Maple Crest Apartments, please, driver. Park Place and 38th Street.
Right.
Well, Clark, it begins to look as if your worries are all over.
How do you figure that, Batman?
Metropolis Park, where Snyder was found, is only a few blocks from where he was shot. So my guess is the guy went there to hide until it got dark and died.
You really believe that?
I do. Furthermore, I think your secret died with it.
Oh, how I wish I could believe that, too.
Well, why can't you?
Well, for one thing, my costume wasn't found with him.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. But granted it's true, so what?
So what? So I figure he made his way to some pals and they've got it.
Well, suppose they have. What good does it do them?
Well, none. Unless Snyder was able to tell them where he got my costume and who I am before he died.
Yeah. That's the jackpot question.
Yes, that's the question on which my career, perhaps my very life, depends, Batman. And I've got a funny feeling we'll get the answer to it very soon.
You're right, Superman. The answer is being prepared for you at this very instant. We'll be back in a moment to find out about it, gang, so keep listening.
Ever been to the Hall of Mirrors, gang? I'll bet that's one place you and your friends make a beeline for when a carnival hits town. And I don't blame you, because it's always a laugh riot to look in those trick mirrors and see the hilariously funny and weird shapes you and your friends take on. Boy, oh boy, if any of us looked in real life like we look in those mirrors, would we be unhappy? Well, did you know that sometimes cartoons and malicious stories work like those trick mirrors? Yes, that's right.
They give you a cockeyed, lopsided idea of what people are really like. How? Well, it's easy. For instance, an artist or a writer will picture a character of a particular racial or religious background with a mean face and a funny accent, and make him the villain of every story or cartoon. That gives readers an idea that all people of the same religious or racial background are just like that, which is exactly what the misguided artist or writer wanted them to think. But people who fall for phony stuff like that are suckers, because by simply getting acquainted with their neighbors of different races and creeds, they could easily see that the caricatures pictured in those malicious cartoons and stories no more resemble real people than the twisted image in the trick mirrors resembles you. Now, you are smart enough to understand how tricking up a mirror will distort a reflection. So you should be smart enough to see through the tricks that distort the real quality of Americans because of their race, religion, or national origin. Don't let anyone make a hall of mirrors out of your mind. Train yourself to see people clearly for what they really are.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman.
That's fine, Slick. Swell. All right, hop right to it and keep me posted. Yeah. So long.
What's Slick got to say, Biggie?
Everything's going fine. It's all set, Chopin.
Yeah? What's the gimmick?
Remember when Mike Hickey was running this town before Perry White got elected mayor? We had a painting and contracting company to take care of all the city buildings.
Oh, boy, what was that a sweet racket? But what about it?
Well, we still got all the equipment, see? So just now, Slick Bailey, who's really got a gift for gab, you know.
Yeah, you're telling me.
He flashes his business cards and his talk, and he gets the agent of the Maple Crest Apartments, where Superman lives, to let him paint all the apartments in the building with his new fireproof paint.
What fireproof paint?
There ain't none really, Chopin. That's just Slick's gag, see?
Oh, I get it. That way Slick can get into all the apartments, huh?
That's it. Then he and the boys can go over every wall till they find the one with a movable panel and the secret closet behind it. And when they find that...
We got the answer to the jackpot question,
Right,
huh?
Chopin. Then we got Superman where we want him, and there ain't nothing we can't have.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. With that information, we can get away with murder.
The threat to Superman's great secret, his double identity, and perhaps to his very life is underway right now. What will happen as Superman, unaware that Biggie Conroy's henchmen are now in his very building, comes closer and closer to exposure? There are tense and exciting moments ahead, fellows and girls, so be sure to listen tomorrow. Tune in, same time, same station, for Chapter 8 of The Mystery of the Stolen Costume on The Adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Comics magazine and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time. This program came from New York. Stay tuned to your mutual station for Captain Midnight, which follows in just a moment. And right after Captain Midnight, you will hear Tom Mix and his Ralston Straight Shooters. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
It's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with amazing physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, wages a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Today, Superman, in his guise of Clark Kent, is in his apartment with his friend, the famous Batman, when a shocking thought occurs to him.
Now, Batman, I'm more certain than I was before that Willie Snyder, the burglar who discovered my double identity, revealed my secret to someone before he died.
What? Why do you say that, Clark?
Wait just a minute, and you'll see for yourself.
Fellows and girls, don't ever be a coat holder. Do you know what that is? Well, let me tell you. A coat holder is a guy who always stands ready to hold someone's coat in a fight, but will never stand up and fight for himself. He's the guy who says, don't let that so-and-so call us names. Let's you and him fight it out. I'll hold the coats. Brave, isn't he? I'll say he is not. Yet that's true in cases where the fight is really important, where it's everybody's fight, where every one of us should be in there swinging, such as the fight against prejudice. Gang, don't ever be a coat holder where something so important as that is concerned. Now, I don't say that you should actually go around slugging everyone who says something nasty about you or other people, because there are other, more effective ways to fight anything so mean and low as racial and religious prejudice. How? Well, it's very simple. If you just treat your classmates and neighbors, all of them, like regular Joes, no matter what their race or religion, you deal a body blow to the enemy. And if you cold shoulder the guy who uses ugly words that smear another fellow's race or religion, you lash out with an uppercut that sends prejudice reeling. You see, this is everyone's fight, because when neighbor is made to feel intolerant of neighbor, our country's strength is weakened and all of us suffer. So if you love your country, be on the alert. And when you see or hear things that you consider intolerant, don't let them pass by. Keep driving against such things until prejudice in America goes down for the count.
And now, the adventures of Superman. Seriously wounded in a gunfight with a police officer, an ex-convict named Willie Snyder told Biggie Conroy, a racket boss, that he knew who Superman was, and he produced Superman's costume to prove it. Snyder explained that he had entered an apartment in the Maple Crest Arms intending to rob it, but discovering a secret closet behind a movable wall panel in which was the costume and red cape of Superman, he realized that he was in the apartment of Superman himself. But before he could say more, the burglar died. However, Biggie Conroy, his greed excited by visions of the fortune he could make if he knew who Superman was, made plans to uncover the Man of Steel's disguise. He explained his plan to Chopin, his piano-playing companion.
You see, Chopin, I've got Slick Bailey posing as a big paint contractor. And he got the job to paint the Maple Crest Arms apartments where Superman lives.
Ah, I get it, Biggie. That way Slick can get in all the apartments, huh?
That's the idea. He goes over all the walls till he finds the one with a movable panel and secret closet. And when he finds that one, we know the guy who lives in the apartment is Superman.
As we continue now, it is the following day. Biggie Conroy is walking the floor, his heavy jaws champing nervously on a dead cigar. Chopin, by request, is playing the piano in an effort to soothe the frazzled nerves of his chief.
Can it, Chopin, can it?
Can what, Biggie?
The music. Don't help none.
Oh. I'll play you some ragtime. I know you like that. How's that, huh?
No good. Cut it out.
Oh, you want I should play sweet, maybe? Like this?
I don't want you should play sweet or any other way.
Oh, come, Biggie. I thought you always feel good when I play.
Well, I don't feel good now. I feel nervous.
Oh, well, I got just the ticket for that. Your favorite piece. You know.
Stop it! You hit that music box again, Chopin, and I'll brain you with it.
All right. I've never seen you like this before. What's eating you, Biggie?
I ain't heard from Slick yet. That's what's eating me.
Oh, that.
Yeah, that. I'm sitting here with all the dough in the world just waiting for me to pick it up. Only I can't pick it up till Slick finds that secret closet and I know who Superman is.
Slick can't find it out right away, Biggie. It might take weeks, maybe.
Weeks? Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. There's 84 apartments in that building, remember? Slick might have to paint every one of them before he finds the right one.
He don't have to paint any of them.
What do you mean? How else is he going to get in those apartments?
The way we figured it is, he... Wait a minute. Hello?
And you, Biggie?
Yeah, Slick?
Hey, that's Slick.
listen.
Shut up, egghead.
Oh, me?
No, not you, Slick. I was talking to Chopin.
What's on your mind, Biggie? I got a message to call you.
You know what's on my mind. You find it yet?
Not yet. Give me a little time.
You had plenty of time. You were in the building all day yesterday and this morning.
Sure, but it takes time to go over an apartment. Good, I mean. And there's 84 apartments in this joint.
Yeah? Well, how many apartments you checked so far?
Just about half. I finished the first 4 floors. I'm starting on the 5th now.
Well, you ought to find it pretty soon, then.
Sure.
Well, call me the minute you do.
Okay, Biggie.
Well, get going. So long.
So long.
Well, you satisfied now, Clark?
What do you mean, Batman?
Are you satisfied that I was right when I said Willie Snyder died before he could tell anyone you're Superman?
Well, I admit it looks that way.
There's no doubt about it. He hid in that old fire station after the shooting. Then, when it got dark, he crawled into the park where the police found him and died.
That could be. What happened to my costume? We know he had it with him when he left this apartment.
He probably dropped it somewhere. He was very badly wounded, you know.
Yes, I guess that's the answer. If Snyder had contacted his pals, as I suspected, it seems to me I would have heard from them some way by now.
Of course. Well, if your mind's at ease, I'll leave you. Robin tells me there are a couple of important cases waiting for my attention.
Oh, sure. Go right ahead, Batman. I appreciate all you've done, by the way. Thank Robin for me, too, huh?
Forget it, chum. You saved my hide and Robin's more than once. And I'll just climb back into Bruce Wayne's clothes before I leave. And Batman couldn't get up. Attracts too much attention.
Bruce Wayne, the playboy. You certainly don't look like the dynamic Batman in that nifty plaid drape model.
You don't exactly look like Superman either in that quiet business suit and horn-rimmed spec.
I guess not.
There, all set. Well, so long, Clark.
So long, Bruce. And thanks again. Hey, wait a minute.
Somebody at your door. Who?
That's just Johnson, the building superintendent.
Oh.
Just a minute. Hello, Johnson. What can I do for you?
I've got the painting contractor here, Mr. Kent.
Painting contractor?
Mr. Bailey.
I'm Bailey.
Oh.
Just want to look over your walls, see what shape they're in before I send my painters in. It'll only take me a few minutes.
Just a minute, Mr. Bailey.
Yeah?
I wasn't told that my apartment was to be decorated.
Well, the agent just decided on it the other day, Mr. Kent. He's having Mr. Bailey's company paint all the apartments with that new fireproof paint.
Oh, I see.
That's wonderful stuff, Mr. Kent. My paint makes your walls and floors absolutely fireproof. Just let me check your walls.
No, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Well, I don't want my apartment painted.
You don't?
No,
Well, that's a new one on me. Most tenants are tickled when they hear I'm going to decorate their apartments.
Yes, well, you see, Mr. Bailey, I'm allergic to paint.
You what?
I'm allergic to paint. The smell of it makes me sick. Isn't that right, Bruce?
What? Yes.
You see? But thanks very much anyhow, gentlemen. Goodbye.
Now, wait a minute. There's no smell to this new paint.
Now,
It's
look, I
absolutely
don't...
odorless, so you can forget all about
Well,
that.
just the same, Well, anyhow, I can't have my apartment messed up now. I'm expecting out-of-town guests, and they're going to stay quite a while.
Oh, that'll be okay, Mr. Kent. I won't send them in till you say so. But I got to check the walls myself in advance, see? Then they can be painted whenever you say. It'll only be a few minutes.
No, wait a minute.
Oh, sure, he'll only be a few minutes, Mr. Kent. Won't inconvenience you at all.
Helpless, unable to protest further without arousing suspicion, Clark Kent watches Slick Bailey begin to examine the walls of his apartment, behind one wall of which is the secret closet. We'll be back in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode, so keep listening.
The other day, gang, a comedian panicked his audience by saying, "My skin is milky white because I drink a lot of milk." It was such a silly idea that his listeners were doubled up laughing. But strangely enough, some people have other equally silly ideas about skin color, and nobody laughs at them. In fact, some of us swallow their weird tales as the real thing. Well, we think it's time you knew the real reason why your skin is a certain color. So here's the scientific truth. Listen carefully. Scientists have discovered that skin color is determined by two special chemicals found in our blood. They are called carotene and melanin. Now, carotene is the chemical that gives skin a yellowish color. Melanin gives it a brown color. Nobody's skin color is made up of just carotene or just melanin. Everybody's color is a mixture of both. If you are a Negro or dark-skinned, you have more melanin than carotene. If you are Oriental or light-skinned, you have more carotene than melanin. The different combinations of the brown and yellow colors these chemicals give, plus the pinkish tinge that comes when the blood vessels show through, give various shades to the human skin. It's just a matter of how the combinations are made. That is the accurate scientific truth, and don't let anyone tell you different. Next time some two-bit talker says he's better than someone else because of the color of his skin, just ask him what's so extra special about his carotene and melanin combination. Of course, you will know the answer.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman. Standing tensely with Bruce Wayne at one end of his living room, Clark Kent watches as Slick Bailey, who pretends to be a painting contractor, moves slowly along the walls, testing and tapping them.
Bruce, I've got a feeling he's looking for the secret closet.
What makes you think so, Clark?
Look how he's tapping at the walls and listening. It's obvious he's hunting for the hollow panel.
Oh, you're imagining things. How could he know about it?
Maybe Willie Snyder told him about the secret closet before he died.
Oh, now look, Clark.
Sure, this fellow's looking for it. When he finds it, he'll know I'm Superman.
You're just jumpy, Clark. You're just imagining.
I'm not, I tell you. Since when do painters go around tapping on walls like that?
Well, he might be looking for cracks.
Oh, he's not, and you know it. He's looking for the secret closet.
Well, if you're sure.
I am.
Well, then what are we waiting for? Let's give him the old heave-ho. Come on.
No, Bruce. If we do that, then he'll know this is the apartment.
So what? We'll have him locked up or something?
No good. We don't know how many others Snyder told this to. If we touch this man or stop him, we'll tip our hand.
Well, then what are we going to do?
I don't know. Great Scott.
What now?
He's finished the living room. Going into the bedroom. That's where my secret closet is.
Uh-oh.
You'll find it in a minute. Then he'll know I'm Superman. What'll I do, Bruce? What'll I do?
Yes, Superman, what can you do? In only a matter of moments now, Slick Bailey will discover the secret closet and report to Biggie Conroy that you, Clark Kent, are Superman. Think fast, Superman. You have only moments, perhaps only seconds, before your most cherished secret is discovered, and you will be revealed to the underworld. What are you going to do? Never before has Superman been in such a predicament as this, fellows and girls. Can you see how he can possibly save himself? Whatever you do, don't miss Monday's thrilling and amazing episode. Be sure to tune in, same time, same station, for Chapter 9 of The Mystery of the Stolen Costume on The Adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Comics magazine and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time. This program came from New York. Stay tuned to your mutual station for Captain Midnight, which follows in just a moment. And right after Captain Midnight, you will hear Tom Mix and his Ralston Straight Shooters. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.